What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have our second game from the top 32 from the KeyForge Age of Ascension Vault Tour held at Origins Game Fair 2019. On the left we have Regan, on the right we have Sydney. If you guys want to see the deck lists of both of these players, you can check them out in the description below on YouTube. And if you want to see our Day 1B coverage and all the other games from the Day 2, check those out in a playlist at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. We have Regan starting off with Shadows and dropping down a Red Lock.
Library of Babel.
On the other side, we got a Logos turn from Sydney here. We got Library of Babel, Seismo Entangler. That will allow her to stop a certain house from reaping on her opponent's side after she uses it. And a Cutthroat Research just for the Amber.
And then that is my turn. You are...
This is the top 32 round, but it was kind of like a round for all the players that didn't have buys getting into the top 16 to basically fill those last few spots of the top 16. So obviously the winner will move on. We got a Dusk Runner played on Redlock. Redlock will reap, who steals an Amber, the only Amber Sydney have, putting Regan at 2. He drops down to Dusk Chronicles, gains an Amber. He does have more Amber than his opponent, so he should be archiving a card, which he's doing right there. And he ends his turn there, but he didn't get an Amber from Redlock for not playing any creatures. Hopefully they catch that, but Ronnie Wrist Clock's coming in on the other side, stealing an Amber. And we got a Redlock on the other side, actually. Oh, there's Regan notices his Redlock mistake. So Sydney allows him to take that Amber, and she drops down Special Delivery for an Amber and a Skeleton Key, both cards from the first set. One of them captures Amber on a friendly creature. The other one deals 3 damage to a flank creature and sends them purged if it destroys them. So already, Sydney having 4 artifacts in play. Seems to be an artifact-heavy deck. On the other side, we got Merrick the Mark dropped in there. And to Protect the Weak on him, giving him 2 armor. So if he does fight or get dealt damage, now he'll block 2 of it due to his armor, and he'll be able to capture 2 each time. And then we have a Shadows Ambassador special card there. That guy has Elusive and has the Fight or Reap ability. You'll be able to play a Shadows card on that turn. And we see a Vemos Lightbringer discarded there. That is the creature that comes into play and destroys all elusive creatures. Obviously, we're going to not want to playing that now because that would hurt 2, or no, only 1 creature on this board, I think. No, 2. Redlock's elusive too, I believe.
So, Shadows?
So we got Sydney going with the Shadows turn.
How do I want to do this? Alright, I am going to play Long Fused Mines.
So she's dropping another artifact into play, Long Fused Mines. That'll get her an Amber, and that deals 3 damage to each enemy non-flank creature as an Omni, I believe.
Special Delivery.
So she's going to use Special Delivery here and pop that as an Omni. Doesn't have to do it on Shadow's turn, but she's choosing to. And Redlock will be purged, and Dusk Runner should go to the discard pile. I believe Regan's just double-checking that here. So there goes Redlock, purged, yep.
Purged. If it's destroyed, that creature purge it. And then I am going to... This guy is going to...
So it sounds like Regan here is debating what to do with her creatures.
Okay, I have to do this. Ronnie's gonna fight this guy.
She's trying to fight the Ambassador, but cannot due to Merrick the Mark having Taunt, which Regan catches there. So Sydney can't fight the Ambassador, so it's probably just go and reap here. Yeah, she does. She does a double reap, gets 2 Amber for that.
And then because I did not play a creature this turn, I also get 1 here.
And she remembers her red lock, so she'll go up to 6 and put herself in check since she didn't play a creature this turn.
And I am going to, why not, give 1 Amber, or capture 1 Amber on Ronnie. I am done.
So just a timing thing for those watching. Redlock is at the end of turn. If you did not play any creatures, gain 1. So that's actually after you draw your cards. So you just need to be aware of that. Age of Ascension kind of has all these end of turn cards. It's kind of like an extra window you got to pay attention to now. So you ready up your guys, you draw your cards, then check to see if you have any at end of turn effects. That's the way I've been trying to do it. So she used Skeleton Key there to capture, and we see Merrick the Mark fighting the Ronnie Wrist Clocks, destroying him and blocking 2 of the damage, so therefore he gets to capture 2. And we see a Glorm of Omen play and Hedros Wall, which gives +2 power to each flank creature. And I think we had a reap there off the Ambassador.
Have to go Mars.
So Regan is in check with 6.
So I am going to do that guy.
So we got a Mars turn here from Sydney, dropping into Dominator. He comes into play stun, does have taunt.
What? Oh, yes, yes they are. And then I have Mr. Zookeeper.
And we have a Zookeeper on the right. And we got Mars first played, gains an Amber, and she gets to ready a Mars creature and use it. So she's going to reap with the Zookeeper, of course.
Put him into my archive.
And we get Merrick the Mark is going to be archived into Sydney's archive pile
I
here.
assume that does not. So I will not take your upgrade. And then that is my turn. You are up. Forge your key, sir.
So Regan's forging a key here, spending 6 Amber. And it looks like he's forgetting the important step of flipping the key that you forged. Hopefully they catch that going forward here. Hope we don't have another scandal, another key flip scandal. So we just have a deck check here, so we're just going to break till after that. We got, I believe it's Carson, the head judge there, checking both players' deck lists just to make sure they're playing with the correct decks.
Find a way to throw us off. We did it.
And so both players are going to try to get back into it here.
Can you just...
So he'll lose his power and taunt.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure what turn we're on, or what house Regan named, but he's popping his Gorm of Ohm, which is an Omni. And he destroyed the Long Fused Mines, and he's dropping down a Collector Worm. So he's obviously going Mars here, followed by a Harvester. And a Mother Gun. Looks like he has a Mars first of his own. Plus a Floaksome Spike in hand, it looks like. So Mars first, he's gaining an Amber, readies up the Collector Worm. And he's going to fight into the Dominators, so they both will die. Whoa, that is an incorrect play there. The Collector Worm would have fought into the Dominator. They both would deal damage to each other. Collector Worm's only dealing 2 to the Dominator, but the Dominator deals 9 back, hits the Collector Worm, destroys through his armor, and would die before he would get to trigger that fight effect. But both players playing that incorrectly there, and now the Dominator is in Regan's discard, or Regan's archive. And they remembered the key flip on Regan's side. Over to Sydney now. She's going to forge her first key.
That one. And then you have 2 Amber. I have
And it looks like that Floaksome Spike was played there for the Amber.
I have to do this. All right. Mars. Reap.
So we got a Mars turn here on Sydney's side. She's going to use the Zookeeper again to reap. Takes the Collector Worm and puts it into her archives.
And then I'm going to play that guy. Deal 2 to
And we got Beam Buckler coming in,
deal 2 here.
dealing 2 damage to a creature.
And that is my
And killing the Shadows Ambassador.
Yep.
But the Shadows Ambassador actually is 3 because of Hedros Wall, so that would not have killed him. So another misplay here. And that is too bad.
Card scares me.
We're gonna have
Question for a future
fight
card.
the library.
If I could randomly pick
Or, I'm sorry.
from, let's say, an archive that has more
So
than
here Sydney's asking the judge if she were to play, I'm assuming, the creature from Shadows, Merkins, to play a random card out of your opponent's archive. But the sleeves are different. The judge is saying that you would just shuffle up the cards and then roll a die to then pick which one it is.
I don't need it right now.
So they're just getting that ready here. That was the question there for anyone who was curious.
Good with that? Awesome. 'Cause I've not actually had a situation like this before.
Otherwise, you would just know which card is yours in the archives based on the sleeves being different. So we got a Nerve Blast here from Regan's side. He steals an Amber, deals 2 damage to the Zookeeper.
Oh, haha, yeah.
And that is a valid kill since the Zookeeper doesn't have a +2 bump. Hideaway Hole played out there from Shadows.
Active player.
What's that guy?
Discard the top 5 cards of the deck for each shadows we gain an Amber.
And we got a Rig Lottery play here, gaining an Amber. Each player is going to discard the top 5 cards of their deck, and they get an Amber
Talking about.
for each Shadows creature that they discarded. And we see Sydney here finding her Merkins, so
Oh, sorry. Oh, right.
shouldn't have that situation she was just asking the judge about.
2 Amber for me.
So looks like Sydney gets 2 Ambers since she got a little Nif and a Merkins off the deck there. And looks like Regan's gets Bad Penny and a Nerve Blast, and he also gets 2.
4, 5, 6, 7.
So that should put him in check there with 7 Amber, I see. You got one on top of another there. And drops the Lamindra there to the right of the Harvester.
All right.
Oh, when it's
So,
enemy.
now that you got rid of my Merkins, which is my
I'm sorry, I
favorite
thought
card
it
in
was
the
the most
whole
powerful
game,
creature anyway.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I thought it was
I'm
the
gonna
most
go
powerful
Logos.
creature.
Let's see if I can do this. I have to start with this. So Neurosiphon.
That will
I'm gonna gain an
my
Amber.
turn into-
So Sydney's playing her Legacy Neurosiphon here. So since she has, her opponent has more Ambers, she gets to collect one and draw a card. Or steal an Amber, sorry, and draw a card.
Order do I want to do this? Okay.
That's a good card to have.
I will Time Traveler.
And we got a Time Traveler dropping on the board, gaining an Amber, drawing 2 cards.
All right, okay. And then, wait a minute. Okay. We're gonna mechanic not.
So Titan Mechanic on the right flank, reducing the key cost by 1 for each player.
Then we'll put.
But she will put a neighbor, looks like a Hex Beyond, dropping down on the board there.
Top 3
And we got an Igor, so she's going to look at the top 3 cards of her deck, put 1 in hand, put the other 2 in the discard pile.
Oh, thank God. Wow. Okay, cool. I will discard Bad Penny and.
So Agent Human and a Bad Penny discarded there. Not sure what she took to hand.
Going to lab work.
So she's going to play a Lab Work here, gaining an Amber and archiving a card. Or not. She looks like she's going to take that back because her archive is loaded with the opponent's creatures, so she might not want to
Being dead,
put cards in the archive.
then. Yeah, I want the Amber.
Blocks deal.
But she is going to do it. She says she wants the Amber.
And I am going to archive.
And she's got to archive her a card she doesn't really want to see for a while.
Seriously. That and
Or
then
at all.
I'm going to. Thanks. Library of Babel. Drawing a
So
card.
drawing a card off the Library of Babel.
I am going
And the
to.
Seismo Entangler.
I'm going to choose Shadow. Oh, is that guy still? Okay, I'm going to choose Shadows.
She's going to choose Shadows. So Regan cannot reap with Shadows creatures on the next turn.
Favorite card.
And a Wild Wormhole, gaining an Amber. She'll play the top card of her deck. And it is a Furtive Investors. Just gaining her an Amber.
But I do get the Amber from the top.
So they're
So
two-sided one.
that is it.
And 2.
You are up.
So it looks like Regan's sitting at, I'm going to say about 9 Amber right now. And Regan will spend the 6 he had remaining there to forge his second key. So he is ahead here on keys. So I just want to say, I may be pointing out some mistakes, but I like to use these videos as learning tools for people who, you know, want to watch these and learn from others play mistakes. So don't be too hard on the people if you're mentioning stuff in the comments. We could just use this as a learning exercise. So we want to thank the players for playing on camera. But we can also help each other get better going forward. So if you notice any other play mistakes or any goof ups in any of the videos, feel free to leave them in the comments below so that people watching them in the future can learn from them. So we got a Spirit's Way, destroying all creatures with 3 power or higher, then a Blinding Light coming in there, gaining an Amber off that, and stunning Logos, which will stun all of the creatures now on Sydney's side of the board. And we got Abon the Armor Smith coming down, giving all other friendly creatures +1 armor.
All right.
And the interesting thing, Lamindra's still there, even though she should have been destroyed also thanks to the Hedros Wall. Let me just double check the text on that, but yeah, each friendly flank creature gets +2 power. So that would have actually destroyed Lamindra also, since she was on the flank.
Wow.
But it seems like Regan and Sydney have both forgotten about Hedros Wall being on the table.
Okay. Well.
Takes 5, so he's not dead. And I'm gonna reap to return him to hand.
I
Iron
will.
And I think Sydney's forgetting to forge a key here. Oh, she remembers.
4, 5, 6.
Calpine.
She spends 6. Looks like she still has 4 or 5 left.
And then to prevent you from stopping.
And is she going to flip her key? Oh, no. She's forgetting to flip her key.
All right. Okay, Mars.
So players, make sure your opponent flips their key. That's a big deal.
Okay. I am going.
I'm sure nerves are high right now on day 2 here for early in the morning, trying to find their way into the top 16.
Yeah, I'm gonna deal 2 damage.
So Beam Buckler coming down again.
Here, so he
It's
takes.
going to do 2 damage to the Armor Smith, who is a 5 right now due to Hedros Wall.
Oh shit. a problem. You can
And Sydney's going to lend Regan some damage tokens here.
a lot. Okay. So I am going to give. I'm gonna play. Mars needs Amber.
So Marge needs Amber. That's going to allow her to put some Amber from your opponent's card onto their damaged creatures. Non-Mars damaged creatures. So she'll get an Amber for playing it. Then the Armor Smith will capture an Amber from Regan.
I am going to give Igor.
And we see a red planet ray gun drop down on Igor.
Damage that creature for each Mars creature in play. And then I have that.
So she's just raking in the Amber off her cards here. Seems like everything Regan plays just, or everything, sorry, Sydney plays just gains her an Amber.
I'm gonna pick human.
So Extinction here, she's choosing the human traded creature, Time Traveler, and it's going to destroy all human creatures.
So I'm picking that creature.
So it looks like she's trying to get the Armor Smith killed to get the Amber off him and also get Time Traveler into her discard pile.
And then I do gain a chain. This
I
is
smell a Help from Future Self probably sitting in her hand right now.
so I get that Amber.
And the fact she put a red planet ray gun on a Logos creature makes me think she might be going Logos next turn.
Then I picked Mars. I am done. Check. You're up.
Is that for
Drawn up to
ready
6,
or
2,
just friendly?
3, 4. Bye bye, time traveler.
So it looks like Sydney needs to draw some cards. She's gone through her deck already, so she'll be shuffling that Time Traveler actually back into the deck. So she looks like she's sitting on 4 cards there and needs to draw 2 more.
Like 2 hearts.
I think I need all the Amber. Deal 2 damage.
Oh, I'm drawing up to 5. So I have 4, drawing 1 more, and losing my shield.
Oh, she had a chain there. She only draws up to 5. I missed that. So Obeyed the Grim dropping down in play, capturing 3. And that's going to be it for Regan's turn. Just trying to get Sydney off forging that third key, technically. She only has 1 flipped, but she's technically forged 3 keys, supposedly. At least Regan realizes that. Trying to stop her from forging key number 3 there. So he just plays the 1 card, does what he has to do.
Logos.
And we have a Logos turn here.
Undone.
So Hexbeyond's going to unstun himself. Igor's going to unstun himself.
And then help from future self.
And there's that Help from Future Self. Gains an Amber. It's hard to tell how much Amber Sydney has there. Those small tokens kind of far away from the camera and a little bunch there. I'm going to say she's probably sitting on at least 5.
See if it does it for me.
And then she has 3 out there. Yeah. Time Traveler's on the top of the deck.
That goes into my hand.
But it still wasn't in her hand yet, so it was totally worth it to play Help from Future Self. She'll get to shuffle up her deck, throw Help from Future Self into her discard pile. She'll just get an Amber for that. And she'll get an Amber for playing that Time Traveler, too. So every card she's playing gets her Amber. I love it. But can Regan keep her off of that third key?
Time traveler.
And there's the Time Traveler coming into play.
And
Drawn 2 cards.
Now at least.
all right, and then I'm going to draw a card,
And we have Library of Babel, drawing a card.
and then all right, well,
I cannot reap because of this feller.
okay, then I am.
Making
Oh,
sure there's no room.
all right, I gotta do this.
Going to use Knuckles Bolton.
So lab work.
So we have a lab work here, another archive of a card.
Card I will never see.
Get an Amber, of course.
And then right.
And elusive.
Just gonna do
I'm
a
gonna pick-
Seismo Entangler.
I'll pick. Sanctum.
Choosing Sanctum, so Regan cannot reap with his Sanctum creatures next turn. And another Wild Wormhole here.
Oh, perfect.
And we get Little Nif, who's an Omega, and ends her turn. So that's why she needed to do everything else before doing the Wild Wormhole. And he's going to deploy it in between Hexbeyond and Igor.
You are up. I have 8
I'll pop my archives and get that back.
in my hand.
So that's interesting. So Sydney hasn't finished up readying her cards and drawing her cards. And Regan just grabbed his archives, which gives a card back to Sydney's hand. So she's at 5 in hand right now. Will she remember that she just got a card and not...
5 drawn to 6.
Yeah, she only I thought that might happen. She only drew one card there because Regan gave her a card before she finished up her turn, so she actually drew one less card than she should have. So yeah, this importance of finishing your turn. But sounds like Regan can't do anything. He's going to end it. He doesn't have enough cards for the key abduction, he says, so that's not going to happen. And Regan takes it. So I just want to say thanks to both players for playing on camera. And like I said, if you have any constructive criticism, leave it in the comments below to help us all get better at this game. Thanks to everyone that donates on Patreon to help support the channel. It gets me to more conventions to get videos like this, helps me upgrade the camera equipment and the audio equipment, all that kind of stuff. So it's all appreciated. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. We got tons more KeyForge coming up on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.